Good day. In this presentation, we will be covering that the government should be allowed to regulate the number of pets a household can have. Here, in the first slide, we have the case for household pet limits, balancing animal welfare, public health, and community harmony. Here in slide 2, we will discuss why this matters, as the urban density is increasing, yet pet ownership regulations remain inconsistent across Canada. Moving on, we will be discussing the animal welfare concerns, the public health implications, community impact, the counter arguments addressed, and a practical fair policy approach. Here is our thesis statement, and our position is clear. Canada should implement reasonable, flexible household pet limits. These limits protect animals and communities while allowing responsible ownership through licensing. Here, in the first argument of protecting animal welfare, the government should intervene. The program introduced should be the Prevention over Crisis Response, which acts as an early warning system, not punishment but protection for animals in care of owners. In this case, the hoarding reality often begins with good intentions but escalates into a system of neglect and suffering. Animals are sometimes found in deplorable conditions with inadequate food, water, and medical care. Here, the second argument is the public health and environment. First, we have the zoonotic disease risk, which means high animal density increases transmission of parasites and diseases to humans. The second is environmental impact, which means the excessive waste introduces nitrogen and phosphorus into watersheds. The third is infrastructure strain, urban systems not designed for concentrated pet populations. Here in this slide, we argue for community harmony, to which excessive barking, odors, and property damage affect neighborhood quality of life. Canadian, Tennessee, and noise laws already protect quiet enjoyment. Pet limits balance rights owners and neighbors alike. Here in this slide, we argue that the government should intervene because it improves quality of life, enhances mental and physical health. Owners can focus on their health and fitness with a reduced number of pets in their household. A limited capacity leads to less neglect, stress, and diminished quality of life for the owners and for their pets. Although pets may alleviate loneliness and offer unconditional love, a sheer increase will be unsustainable for animals and their owners. In addressing the counter arguments, such as government overreach into personal freedom, responsible owners unfairly restricted, enforcement too difficult and costly, and the one-size-fits-all won't work, our response to this is the public health is legitimate government role like food safety and building codes. Flexible licensing protects responsible owners with special permits. Complaint-driven enforcement reduces cost, and context-based policy adapts to local needs. Here is a scalable policy approach the government should adopt, known as the kennel license model, which provides a reasonable cap, 3 to 4 pets for typical homeowners, and no special permits required. The special permits, however, are for licensed breeders with proper facilities, certified animal rescue fosters, and hobby farmers with appropriate land. This is flexible, context-based, and protects both animals and responsible owners. Here in this slide, it outlines that we already accept similar regulations if the kennel license model is too much of a government overreach. Those regulations are building codes, which the government limits how you modify your property to protect public safety, food safety, which restaurants must meet health standards, not government overreach, and third is vehicle licensing, providing competence before endangering others in standard practice. Pet limits follow the same logic, balancing individual freedom with collective welfare. Here in this slide, we ensure the animal welfare. known as the 5 freedoms. Pet limits help ensure every animal receives 1. Freedom from hunger and thirst. 2. Freedom from discomfort. 3. Freedom from pain, injury, or disease. 4. Freedom to express normal behavior. And 5. Freedom from fear and distress. In the words of Kowalski, when households exceed their capacity to care, these freedoms are compromised. Here, in conclusion, pet ownership is a privilege that requires responsibility to the animals and the community. Reasonable household limits protect animals from neglect and hoarding, safeguard public health and the environment, preserve neighborhood harmony, and allow flexibility for responsible owners. The goal is a safe, clean, and harmonious communities where both people and animals thrive. And here are our references. And this presentation was developed by Opeyemi Oyedindina, myself, Zachary Pinto, and Kassan Folks. Thank you, and have a good day.